Alright, hello everyone. Ang lecture natin still under supernatural psychology. Ang topic natin, how demons destroy the psyche, specifically cognition. Ito yung part 3 ng series natin on this topic. Panoorin nyo na lang yung parts 1 and 2. Mamaya i-discuss ko yon ng mabilis, no? So for those of you na first time pa lang na nakarinig ng lecture series na to, under to ng supernatural psychology, so meron tayong supernatural being na pinag-uusapan, and that would be the demons. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng demon or demons? Ibig sabihin pala niyan, in its original language, adversary. Sa Tagalog, kaaway. Yan. So ang pinaka-root word ng demon is kaaway. These are spiritual beings na kaaway ni Lord. At syempre, kapag ang isang being may kaaway, ang dominant emotion dyan is none other than hate. So itong mga demonyo na to, spirit being, pwedeng isa lang or marami beings, because in the Bible, ang demons pwedeng mag-operate ng marami. Ang dominant emotion nila towards God is hate. Galit na galit sila kay Lord. So if you want to have a comprehensive understanding, mas maintindihan mo yung nature ng mga demonyo, I highly recommend you read this book ni Michael Heiser. Maganda yung libro niya, no? Marami siyang diniscuss dito on the nature of demons in the biblical perspective. So going back, dahil itong mga demonyo na to, mataas ang level of hate, galit na galit kay Lord, they have to express that. Tayo rin, di ba? Pag mataas yung level of hate natin, lumalabas yan sa mga actions natin, and in their case, paano nila ina-express yan? Through destroying God's creation. Ganyan sila magrebelde out of their hate towards God. Sirain natin lahat ng bagay na ginawa ni Lord, including, syempre, nature. Kaya pwede mo tong i-connect, no, sa environmental issues. Bakit ang mga tao sinisira ang environment? Merong demonic influence yan. Gagawa natin ng ibang lecture yan. Saan nanggagaling yung drive ng tao na sirain yung nature? Yung puno, yung mga dagat, na-extinct yung mga animals, may demonic influence yan. That's one way that demons express their hate towards God. Pero ang focus ng lecture natin ngayon is on human beings. Number 1, sa listahan ng mga demonyo na gusto nilang sirain out of their hate towards God, yung mga tao, because we are created in the image of God. Love na love kasi tayo ni Lord. Kaya tayo yung number 1 sa listahan nila na gusto nilang sirain. Because we are created in the image of God, special tayo sa mata ni Lord. Hindi niya yan ginawa sa mga puno. Trees were not created in the image of God. Hindi niyan ginawa sa dagat. Hindi niyan ginawa sa mga hayop. Only human beings were created in the image of God. Kaya dyan, gigil na gigil ang mga demonyo, yan yung gusto nilang sirain. In fact, sa isang description ni Jesus, no, in the book of John, yan ang ginagawa ng mga demons. They want to murder. Murder who? People created in the image of God. Gusto nilang sirain ang buhay ng mga tao na ginawa ng Diyos sa kanyang sariling image. Lalong-lalo na kung Christian ka, because you are considered the enemy of these demons. Kaya I want you to realize something here, especially for those Christians na nakikinig, no, in this lecture. Ang ibig sabihin lang yan, somebody wants you destroyed every day. Tuwing gigising ka sa umaga, dapat yun yung unang dominant thought mo, na ngayong araw na to, merong spiritual being ang gusto kang masira. So you have to really watch out. You have to be defensive on the different attacks of the demons. Lahat tayo merong death threat galing sa demonyo. Huwag niyong isipin na yung death threat, pang mayor lang yan, pang drug lord lang yan, simpleng Juan de la Cruz lang naman ako, wala naman ako malaking business, hindi naman ako drug lord, wala akong death threat. Mali. In the spiritual perspective, if you see the world in the spiritual perspective, this is one of the most important spiritual truths na dapat pinaniniwalaan mo, na lagi tayong may death threat every day. Galing saan yung death threat na yan? Sa mga demonyo na gusto tayong sirain. Now, how do demons destroy human beings who are created in the image of God? Iniisa-isa nilang durugin yung different aspects natin. Physical, cognitive, emotional, and social. Gumawa na ako ng lecture under physical. Panoorin nyo na lang paano sinisiran ng demonyo yung katawan natin. This lecture focuses on the cognitive. Okay? So, cognitive, sa mga psychologists dito, sa mga psych majors, alam nyo na yan, dito natin kinuha yung term na cognitive psychology. This is a major in psychology where we talk about the scientific study of human thinking. Pag sinabi mong cognitive, or cognition, we are talking about thinking. Paano mag-isip ang tao? Yan ang pinag-aaralan sa CogPsych. Paano mag-isip ang mga tao? Anong epekto ng pag-iisip ng mga tao sa buhay natin? And one of the topics na pinag-aaralan sa CogPsych is belief formation. Ano ba ang influence ng mga paniniwala natin in our everyday life? And in the first place, paano ba nabubuo yung mga beliefs natin sa buhay? Because beliefs are so important in our psychological life. Do you agree? Marami tayong mga emotional patterns, may mga ginagawa tayo everyday. It all starts with what we believe. Let me give you some examples. Pag naniniwala kang buhay ka, that's a belief. Naniniwala kang buhay ka. So what do? You do things na ginagawa ng mga taong buhay. Kaya meron kang drive na kumain. Kaya meron kang drive na pumasok sa school. Kaya meron kang drive na makipag-usap sa mga tao around you. Kasi nga, naniniwala kang buhay ka. Naniniwala ka na meron kang misis at pamilyado ka ng tao. That belief will guide your behavior na dapat maayos. Dahil pamilyado ka ng tao, may misis ka na, committed ka na, hindi ka na mang-chichicks. Hindi ka na makikipag-date sa iba. Yung priority mo, let's say kung paano mo gastusin yung pera mo, hindi na pang single. Kasi may specific way on how you spend if you're single eh. Pamilyado ka na. Dapat yung paggastos mo ng pera para na sa pamilya, para sa mga anak mo, para sa pang-tuition nila, para sa pang-araw-araw na needs ninyo. Bakit mo ginagawa yon? Bakit ganun yung pag-handle mo ng pera? Because of this belief na pamilyado ka ng tao, meron ka ng misis, kasal ka na. And the most important belief, totoong may Diyos. Totoo si Lord. Dahil naniniwala kang totoo si Lord, nagsisimba ka, meron kang quiet time, nagbabasa ka ng Bible mo, nagme-meditate ka ng God's Word, nanonood ka ng mga YouTube channels na may kinalaman sa spirituality, nakikinig ka ng mga sermon sa mga pastors. Bakit? Naniniwala ka kasi na totoo si Lord at mahalaga sa buhay mo si Lord. You see? So all of those examples show na talagang mahalaga ang belief system. Ang belief system natin yung nag-i-influence ng mga galaw natin in our everyday life. No wonder, ang mga demonyo, yan yung gustong tirahin. Yan yung gustong sirain. Kasi kapag nasira nila yung belief systems mo, lahat tayo magiging unstable in so many ways. Magiging unstable yung emotions mo, magiging unstable yung actions mo. Magiging dysfunctional ka, sira ka spiritually. Kasi nasira nila yung belief system mo. And how do they do that? Nag-i-induce sila, nag-i-inject sila ng lason. Nag-i-inject sila ng poisonous belief systems para sirain yung emotions natin, pati na yung mga behaviors natin. And what do I mean by toxic beliefs? Ang mga toxic beliefs, ito yung mga belief systems na hindi totoo, pero pinapalabas ng demonyo totoo, and more importantly, unbiblical, kontra sa Bible. Kasi ang basic rule dito, ang isang belief system that goes against, kontra sa Bible, kabaliktaran ng sinasabi ng God's Word, automatic lason yan. It's not good for our psychological system. And without us knowing it every day as we are exposed to different influence in our environment, habang nakikipag-usap tayo sa mga workmates natin, habang nagbabrowse ka ng cellphone mo, habang nanonood ka ng YouTube channels dyan, mayroong mga lason na nakakapasok sa belief systems mo na akala mo okay lang, yun pala, unti-unti ka nang pinapatay. Such as, so far in this series, nag-discuss na ako ng dalawa. Lason, yung tinatawag na self-love movement, lason, yung tinatawag na scientism. Because again, hindi totoo yung parehong yan, at itong dalawang to, kontra sa Bible. Unfortunately, the devil is so good in convincing you na okay lang yan, that these two ideas are even good. So maraming naloloko. Ini-internalize tuloy nila yung numbers 1 and 2 without them knowing it, nalalason na pala sila in their everyday life. So if you want to know more about numbers 1 and 2, baka lang naman, kung malakas lang naman ako sa inyo. Baka gusto nyo panoorin yung mga lectures ko dyan. So ito yung mga thumbnails ko dyan sa part 1, ito naman yung thumbnail ko sa part 2. Okay, so sa part 1, self-love movement, part 2, diniscuss ko yung scientism. In today's lecture, ang focus natin is on consumerism. Isa na naman tong toxic belief system na akala ng mga tao okay lang, pero sa totoo lang, nakakalason pala. Unti-unti kang pinapatay. According to the APA Online Dictionary, ito ang ibig sabihin ng consumerism, just read on your own silently. Kapag na-internalize mo na yung idea ng consumerism, ang goal mo sa buhay is kumita ka ng kwarta. Yan yung ultimate goal, pera. To the point na sinusukat mo na yung worth ng tao based on material ownership. Yan ang tinuturo ng consumerism. Paano mo malalaman kung ang tao simple lang versus ang tao VIP or very important person? Anong difference nila? Sagot. Depende yan kung gaano karami meron silang mga material possessions. Ang mga taong maraming possessions, mamahalin ang mga possessions, mga VIP yan. Ang mga tao naman na konti lang yung possessions, mga peke yung mga possessions, mumurahin lang yung mga positions, yan yung mga simpleng tao. Hindi dapat kinakausap yan. Konti lang yung benefits nila in our society compared to those na big time. Nagigets nyo? So, paano mo malalaman kung nahaluan ka na ng consumerism in your belief system kapag yung goal mo sa buhay, kumuha na lang ng kumuha ng mga material things. Kaya mo gustong yumaman eh. Siyempre, number one, no? Isang ebidensya na talagang na-internalize mo na yung consumerism, number one goal mo yumaman. At yung yaman na nakukuha mo, pambili mo ng mga material things. Because you feel so good, you feel so accepted, you feel so validated kapag marami kang mga expensive material things na yan. Yan na yung naging goal mo sa buhay. Kapag ganyan yung pattern mo, meron nang nakapasok na consumerism in your psychological system. Nagigets ninyo? Now, some other expressions of consumerism would be the following. Yan. Ito yung mga ini-internalize ng mga tao, no, as they are influenced by this idea. Hindi ka big time kung hindi ka mayaman. Therefore, dapat tayo maging mayaman. Sounds familiar? Yan yung tinuturong goal sa mga bata ngayon. Ang goal mo sa buhay, yumaman. Number one priority, pera. Pinakamahalaga, kumita ng pera. Deserve mo mga expensive things. Hindi ka dapat malamangan ng iba. Yan, mga consumerism ideas yan. Mayaman, materially, equals happiness. Kaya kung gusto mong sumaya, anong dapat mong gawin? Mangolekta ka ng mangolekta ng possessions hanggang sa maging big time ka, kaiinggitan ka ng mga tao, magiging masaya ka. Kaya sa society natin ngayon, no, it's so unfortunate, the way we paint the idea of success is very materialistic. Consumerism yung ano yan eh. May pakana yan. As constructed by demons. Diba, tanungin mo yung mga kabataan ngayon, paano mo malalaman na successful ka na sa buhay? That you have already made it. Ano mga sagot nila? Something like this. Yan. May mga quotable quote kang makikita sa social media. It's not about how bad you want it. It's about how hard you're willing to work for it. Okay yung message. Kasi success ano yan eh. Success quote yan eh. Pero tingnan nyo yung tingnan nyo yung association. Yung success quote, kinonect niya sa kotse. Hindi nyo makita. Ayan, kinonect niya sa sports car. Yung success idea, kinonect niya sa pagpunta sa Paris. So parang ang messaging dito, hindi ka big time, hindi ka pa successful kung wala kang sports car. Kung hindi ka pa nakapunta sa Paris. O, di ba? Kaya marami mga young people ngayon, yan yung idea nila ng success. You are successful if you have this or you have that. O, isa pang example. Ito, okay naman sana yung message eh. The more you fail, the closer you are to succeed the next time. Okay yun. Pero tignan nyo yung association. How do you become successful? How do you know if you're successful? Sports car yan. Our idea of what's successful today, it's so materialistic. Bakit? Dahil yan sa consumerism that a lot of people have already internalized. At unti-unti, marami mga tao nalalason everyday because of that idea. Actually, yung consumerism na yan, hindi yan bago Hindi yan invention of the 21st century. New Testament pa lang. Sa Matthew chapter 4 pa lang, makikita mo na yung presence ng consumerism and how the devil is using this to destroy the psyche. In this passage, for example, ang demonyo meron siyang gustong sirain. Who? None other than Jesus himself. Siyempre, alam ng demonyo, kalaban niya si Jesus, di ba? So, yun yung naging goal niya in this passage. Gusto niya sirain psychologically si Jesus. So, what does the devil do? Binigyan niya ng mga temptations. And if you notice, the devil's temptations during this time, very materialistic. Alam ng demonyo, si Kristo, gutom na gutom kasi nagfa-fasting siya. Ang unang temptation niya, gawin mong tinapay ang mga bato na yan. Diba? Yung bato, gawin mong tinapay, that's materialistic. Unahin mo yung physiological appetite mo. Pasayahin mo yung sikmura mo. Mag-enjoy ka sa lasa ng masarap na pandesal. Yan. Expression yan ng consumerism. Another example, yung last temptation ng demonyo kay Jesus. Yan, Anong sinabi dito? The devil took him to a very high mountain. Anong nakita ni Jesus doon? Showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. Materialistic yan. All kingdoms of the world. At anong sabi ng demonyo? Ibibigay ko sa iyo lahat yan kung sasambahin mo ako. You see the point? Kung i-combine mo tong passage na to, sa passage na to, old school na yung consumerism na yan. The idea that life is better. You will be fulfilled by material things. Okay? Matagal na palang ginagamit ng demonyo yan. Matthew times pa lang, ginagamit na niya yan. At hanggang ngayon, in our culture today, ginagamit pa rin niya yan. Now, let me just share with you this spiritual principle, which is the truth. In connection to our lecture today, spiritual needs can only be satisfied by spiritual resources. Wherever you are, I want you to pause this video, basahin mo to ng 3 beses. Spiritual needs can only be satisfied by spiritual resources. Tayo kasing mga tao, we are spiritual beings. Meron lang tayong katawan. We are embodied spirits. We are spirits in a body. Pero ang nature talaga natin, ang essence natin, we are spiritual beings. Kaya tayo merong spiritual needs. At ano lang ang makakapagpabusog sa atin? Spiritually, obviously, you follow logic, spiritual resources. Yan ang kasinungalingan ng consumerism. It makes you believe the opposite. Sasabihin ng consumerism, spiritual being ka. Pero pwede kang maging masaya, pwede kang maging fulfilled sa mga material things. Baliktad. Spiritual beings or spiritual needs can only be satisfied by spiritual resources. Naalala ko yung John 15:5 na sinabi ni Jesus, di ba? I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Yung mga fruit na sinasabi ni Jesus dyan, yan yung mga fruit na kailangan ng mga spiritual beings para mabuhay. Pag wala kang mga fruits na yan, mabubulok, mapapanis, masisira yung espiritu ng isang spiritual being tulad ng tao. Ano ba yung mga fruits na yan na sinasabi ni Jesus na kailangan ng mga spiritual beings? Tatalon tayo sa Galatians. The fruits of the Spirit. And I think it's hard to argue against this, no? But I'm confident to say, kung lahat ng fruits of the Spirit meron ka, this strongly predicts mental health. Wala akong taong kilala na maganda yung mental health niya, tapos kulang siya dito. Hindi. In fact, the opposite is true. Kapag nagkukulang ka sa mga fruits of the Spirit na yan, diyan pumapalya ang mental health. So, ang application dito, if you want to improve a person's mental health, what should you do? Help that person, guide that person to gain the following spiritual fruits. Yan. Pwedeng i-apply yan ng mga clinicians na nakikinig ngayon. Kapag ang isang kliyente mo nag-undergo ng therapy, sana isa sa mga goals ng therapy mo, ma-enhance, mapalakas, mapadagdag yung mga spiritual fruits na yan sa buhay ng client mo. Because this will definitely, sure ball, papataasin ng mga to yung mental health mo. Because these are the exact things na kailangan ng mga spiritual beings like us. Got that? Kaya nga, just to further emphasize on this principle, no, ito yung okay na mental health eh. Meron kang direct access kay Lord who is the source of all spiritual fruits. Okay yan. Meron kang direct access sa Kanya. You always hear God's word. You are always having fellowship with others. You are always praying. You are meditating on God's word. Nagkakaroon ng interaction yan between the creature and the Creator. Diba yung psyche, the creature, si God, yung Creator, kapag meron kayong interaction with each other and it's pretty consistent, gumaganda yung mental health mo. Kasi nga, nakukuha mo yung mga spiritual fruits na yan. Yan. Basa na lang kayo ng mga articles that prove that indeed spirituality enhances mental health. Yan yung explanation dyan. So if you want to have better mental health, you enhance, you improve on your spirituality. Pero anyway, ibang lecture yan. Dito ngayon papasok yung demonyo. Kasi nga, supernatural psychology to, no? Ito yung supernatural being, yung demonyo papasok. Dala-dala niya yung idea ng consumerism. Ibe-brainwash yung mga tao na maniwala sa mga teachings ng consumerism. Pera ang pinakamahalaga. Yan. So yung demonyo, pupunta yan sa laptop mo, pupunta yan sa Facebook profile mo, sa mga walls na nakikita mo, pupunta yan sa iba't ibang mga YouTube channel, pupunta yan sa Netflix, and then you're gonna hear that message. Pinakamahalaga ang pera. So paulit-ulit ka nang na-expose, unti-unti naniniwala ka na dyan hanggang sa wala na. Pinaniwalaan mo na, in-apply mo na sa buhay mo. So isa ka na sa mga tao na naniniwala na ang ultimate goal ng buhay hindi si Lord, but money. So ano nangyari? Dati ganyan ka, 'di ba? Meron kang direct access kay Lord. At okay na okay ang mental health mo because you are getting these spiritual needs. May demonyo. Naniwala ka sa consumerism, whoops, magkakaroon ng harang 'yan. Mawawala na yung access mo kay Lord kasi hindi mo na siya kinakausap, hindi ka na nagsisimba, hindi mo na siya pinapansin, hindi ka na nagdadasal. Ano nangyari? Yung attention mo napunta sa pera. Ayan o. At yung pera na yan, dyan ka na ngayon magkakaroon ng interaction. Yung pera na yung kausap mo, yung pera na ang minemeditate mo, yung pera na yung kadate mo, yung pera na yung dine-daydream mo. Oh. And remember, money is a physical thing. Ikaw, spiritual being ka. Yan yung nangyayari. Kapag yung spiritual being, ini-ingest niya something physical, nagkakaroon ng spiritual malnourishment. Kasi nga, yung kaluluwa natin, hindi kailangan ng physical things such as money. Kailangan niya spiritual fruits coming from God. Kaya marami mga tao ngayon, especially those victims of consumerism na gawa ng demonyo, spiritually malnourished. Naalala ko dito yung parable ni Jesus sa Luke chapter 12. Naalala nyo to? And he told them a parable saying, the land of a rich man produced plentifully. So may rich man sa parable na to. And he thought to himself, what shall I do? For I have nowhere to store my crops. And he said, eto na, ano daw gagawin ng rich man sa dami niyang pera? I will tear down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. In other words, lalo kong pararamihin, imumultiply ko yung pera para makapag-enjoy ako sa buhay. Magpapakasarap na lang ako sa buhay para hindi ko na kailangan magtrabaho. Sounds familiar yung ganyang idea? Paramihin mo ng paramihin yung pera mo para mag-enjoy ka na lang, hanggang ngayon ginagawa pa rin yan. Yan, pop psychology yan. Punta ka sa different bookstores, you're gonna see these books. Na ang common message is, money is the answer to all problems. You're sad? Money is the answer. You're not fulfilled? Money is the answer. Kulang sa kulay ang buhay mo? Money is the answer. Paramihin mo ng paramihin yan para makapag-enjoy ka sa buhay. Nagigets nyo? So hindi lang yan pang parable ni Jesus. Hanggang ngayon, nangyayari pa rin yan. And many people are buying the ideas from these books. At yan yung ina-apply nila sa mga buhay nila. Kaya maraming tao ngayon mukhang pera. May kakilala ka bang mukhang pera? Taas ang kamay. Sino may kakilala mukhang pera? Tignan mo yung katabi mo dyan habang nanonood ka. Tignan mo yung katabi mo. Yan. Mukhang pera yan. Joke lang. No? But you get my point. Okay? Now, ano ang reaction ni Lord when He heard this guy na ganito yung attitude about life? Punta ka sa next verses. Tinawag ni Lord yung taong yon na ano, you fool. You fool. Actually, pwede mo pa palang i-connect yan, no? After niya paramihin, anong sabi niya? You have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. O, di ba? Tugmang-tugma yan sa attitude ng society natin ngayon. Paramihin mo yung pera para mag-enjoy ka. And what did God say? You fool. Yung ganong attitude pala, foolishness. Hindi pala ganun dapat yung treatment natin sa earthly wealth. Paramihin mo ng paramihin para makapag-enjoy ka. That's foolishness in the perspective of God. This night, anong sabi? Your soul is required of you. Translate, may masamang mangyayari sa kaluluwa mo. And that is true. When our soul, when our spirit is so obsessed with earthly things, hindi tayo nakakakuha ng mga spiritual fruits that we need. Diyan lumalabas yung mga psychological issues. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng your soul is required of you. Bad things will happen to your spirit. Magkakaroon ka ng mga mental health concerns. Magkakaroon ka ng mga psychological conditions such as depression. Dadagdag ka sa mga statistics ng mga yan. Pataas ang mga taong may depression. Question, what's the reason? I-connect mo to sa lecture natin ngayon. Marami mga tao dito na internalize na yung consumerism. In the field of positive psychology, nag-a-apply na sa kanila yung hedonic treadmill. Shout out dyan sa mga estudyante ko sa positive psych. Pinag-aralan natin to sa classroom. The hedonic treadmill. Ito yung endless cycle na kapag may nakuha kang material thing, tataas ng konti yung happiness mo, but along the way, bababa na naman yan, kikilos ka ulit para masustain mo yung previous happiness that you had. And it's never ending. Nagigets nyo? Yun yung hedonic treadmill. Bumili ka ng bagong cellphone, masaya ka. Maya-maya sawa ka na, hindi ka na naman masaya. Work hard ka ulit to get another phone. Hindi na natatapos. Wala kang pinatutunguhan. Nakadepende ka na sa material things. That's hedonic treadmill. And studies show in positive psych, ang mga tao na nasa hedonic treadmill, nasa ganyang pattern, nabubuhay na lang para kumita ng pera at bumili ng mga mamahaling bagay, boom! Yan yung reason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng mga mental health issues. Sabi nga dito sa article, no, materialism lowers well-being. Nagkakasakit yung spirito mo kasi masyado na siyang malnourished. Pinapakain mo sa spirito mo junk food of the world. Pinapakain mo ng bagong cellphone, pinapakain mo ng bagong kondo, pinapakain mo ng pera. Eh hindi nga yun yung kailangan ng spirito mo. Ang kailangan ng spirito mo, spiritual fruits. Diba? Yun yung reason kung bakit toxic yung consumerism. Actually, we can dig deeper. Kapag ang bago mong Diyos yung pera, kasi yun yung pinusya yun ng demonyo, gawin mong Diyos yung pera, ano yung mga specific causes, bakit nga nagiging spiritually malnourished? The Bible was very specific on this. For example, in 1 John, ang ganda ng sinabi dito, do not love the world or anything in the world. Eh kaya nga lang pag consumerism ka, loves na loves mo ang mundo. If anyone loves the world, the love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but altogether with from the world. And then we also read James chapter 4 verse 4. You adulterers, galit si James dito umiinit ang ulo, mataas ang blood pressure. Do you not know that the love of the world results in enmity with God? Pag mahal na mahal mo raw yung mundo, naniniwala ka sa consumerism. Therefore, whoever wishes to be a lover of the world, love na love mo yung mamahaling bag, love na love mo mag-travel, love na love mong kumain ng kumain kasi foodie ka, love na love mo yung buhay mo dito sa mundo. Anong sabi ni James dito? Whoever wishes to be a lover of the world makes himself an enemy of God. So, i-combine mo yung mga messages dyan sa 1 John pati sa James. Anong specific poison yung nakakapasok sa spirito natin when we become lovers of the world? Kapag naniwala ka sa consumerism, nawawala yung love of God for you and you become the enemy of God. And these two things poisons the psyche. Nagigets nyo? And yan yung reason kung bakit nasasama ka sa mga statistics na yan. Ako naniniwala, marami mga tao dito, kaya dumagdag sila sa ganitong mga results. Kung bakit nadidepress sila, kung bakit sila may mga suicidal thoughts, these two are at play. They have the absence of the love of God, and they are considered the enemy of God. Kaya sila ganyan. Now, don't get me wrong, hindi lang naman ito yung cause. Maraming causes yan. But we cannot deny the fact na ito, powerful predictors yan of poor mental health. Does that make sense? So, as I close, babasahin ko sa inyo yung paradox of our time. Etong short essay na to answers this question. What happens when we internalize materialism? As I read this essay, gusto kong mag-focus kayo sa red words. Actually, dalawang kulay. May purple words, may red words. Purple words, ito yung mga words na ginagawa sa consumerism. The red words, yan yung spiritual effect sa atin. What happens kapag masyado mong mahal yung mundo? Kapag naniwala ka na sa consumerism na gawa ng demonyo, ito yung mangyayari sa'yo. The paradox of our time in history is that, we have taller buildings but shorter tempers. Ulitin ko, lahat ng purple, expression ng consumerism, lahat ng red words, psychological effect ng consumerism. So ano raw? Taller buildings, shorter tempers. Wider freeways, but narrower viewpoints. We spend more, but have less. We buy more, but we enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families. More conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense. More knowledge, but less judgment. More experts, yet more problems. More medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living but not a life. We've added years to life but not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We conquered outer space but not inner space. We've done larger things but not better things. We've cleaned up the air but polluted the soul. We conquered the atom but not our prejudice. We write more, we learn less. We plan more, we accomplish less. We've learned to rush but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more infos, to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are the times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of 2 incomes but more divorce, fancier houses but broken homes. These are the days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet and to kill. It is a time when there is much in the show window and nothing in the stockroom. That's a good essay. Don't you agree? Pero i-combine mo lahat ng red words dyan. Mula dito, ito yung start. Short tempers, narrower viewpoints, have less, enjoy less. Yan, ulitin nyo na lang on your own. No? I-combine mo lahat ng red words na yan. Yan yung epekto ng consumerism to our souls. Kaya no wonder, no, kapag ganyan yung nag-a-apply sa buhay mo, yung mga red words, hindi na ako magugulat kung bakit ka nandyan. Hindi na ako magugulat kung bakit isa ka sa mga nandyan. Kung bakit nandyan ka. Imagine mo yung mga red words na yon, lahat applicable sa'yo. Definitely, you are not in good psychological condition. And why is that? Na-ingest mo na, ininom mo na ng ininom, tinanggap mo na ng tinanggap yung teachings ng consumerism. And the devil is so good in doing that. Remember, he's a liar, right? Ano yung kasinungalingan na tinuturo niya sa mga tao? Pinapaniwala niya tayo na ang worldly life is better than spiritual life. Diba? Mas maganda yung worldly life. Yung spiritual life, wala naman talagang spirito eh. Wala naman talagang Diyos in the first place eh. Huwag mo nang sayangin yung oras mo sa mga ideas of God. Wala namang God. Atheism is the way. Imbis na maging concerned ka sa eternity mo, i-focus mo yung utak mo dito sa mundo. You only live once. Sounds familiar? YOLO philosophy. Gawa din ng demonyo yan. Remember this. Huwag tayong magpapaloko sa kasinungalingan na yan because the truth is, only spiritual things can satisfy us. Such as, yan, relationship with God, wisdom, loving relationships, learning new skills that benefit others, character improvement, knowing our purpose in life, fulfilling our mission, answering God's call. Yan yung mga spiritual needs na dapat araw-araw nating inaatupag. Pero again, ang demonyo, i-cross out yan. Boring yan. Hindi totoo yan. Ano pa yan? First century pa yan. Old school na yan. Ito ang uso. Ito ang paniwalaan mo. Anong pinakamahalaga sa buhay? Money, clothes, house, cars, jewelry, travel, anything worldly. Yan ang iatupagin mo. Unfortunately, many people believe this. Ano nangyayari? Nalalason yung mga psyche nila everyday. Kaya one good reflection to do as we end this lecture today, ito ba yung mga pursuits mo? Ask yourself, reflect. Every day of your life, tuwing gumigising ka, ito ba yung mga bagay na excited kang makuha for that day? Kasi kung ang sagot mo, hindi, everyday gumigising ka, looking forward to these things, napasok ka na ng toxic idea na gawa ng demons. Alright? So, ang maganda, napanood mo tong lecture na to, which means, it's not an accident you've watched this, let go of the lie, internalize the truth. You go after spiritual needs. Alright? So, yan yung part 3 natin on how demons destroy the psyche. Sana marami kayong natutunan. If you have questions, clarifications, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa baba. Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.